feel like no one prepares you for this part of adulthood where you suddenly realize your friends are living completely different lives than you.
Like wildly different.
Yeah, some people are married with kids, some people are single and dating. It's like some people are starting businesses, some people are moving across the country.
And somehow all of you used to be in the same college bar every Thursday night.
Exactly. And I think when we were younger, we just kind of assumed that friendship just lasts forever.
hmm But then you get older and life starts pulling people in completely different directions.
And sometimes the friendship adapts.
And sometimes it doesn't.
Today, we're talking about something I think a lot of people experience but don't like to talk about out loud.
Can friendships actually survive when people are in totally different life stages?
And we're also going to talk about something that is way more common than people admit,
Friendship breakups.
which honestly might hurt worse than romantic ones.
Oh, 100%. They absolutely do.
Welcome back to Sisterhood Tea Party.
Where we spill the tea on life, relationships, and everything that comes with trying to be a functioning adult.
And today's tea is all about friendships and adulthood.
Because when we were younger, friendships felt really simple.
You just had friends, you saw each other all the time.
But now everyone's life is moving at completely different speeds.
Different careers, relationships, cities, and priorities.
And sometimes that changes friendships in ways that you didn't really expect.
I feel like there's always a moment where you realize you and a friend are in different life stages.
Like a specific moment.
Yeah, like you're in a conversation and suddenly you're like, oh, wait, we are not living the same life anymore.
Really? Do tell.
Okay, so I had a friend and we were best friends since like college. You definitely know this person.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it and it started to feel different when every single combo that I had with her led to only one topic, and that was her kid. And like obviously your
Mhm.
kid is a big deal, and I would expect my friends with kids to talk about their kid. I have many friends with kids, but every single other thing that she found joy in before she had a kid, she completely dropped. She didn't read anymore. She wasn't interested in music anymore. She didn't watch sports. Like, and while I do think that like I'm not like a monster. Every time someone has a kid, like there's an adjustment period where you're kind of figuring out, wow, this is like a very different life. And I have to figure out how to like balance the things I'm interested in with raising a child. She never rebalanced at all.
Mm.
And after several years, it became clear that she wasn't interested in any of the things I was interested in anymore. We didn't really have anything else in common. And she was really only interested in her kid and nothing else. And like part of me was sad for her because, she lost these like really, I think, cool parts of herself. The other part of me also kind of understood it. Like I didn't have parents who obsessed over me as a kid and probably would have had a better childhood if I had. So like I can't really blame her for it either. So it just ended
Yeah.
up where we drifted apart and it was what it was.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's such a weird feeling, though.
Yeah, it's like it's not that I feel like her choices were wrong in any way or like what happened with us was necessarily wrong, but I definitely realized that like, oh, we're in completely different chapters and I don't feel like we're ever gonna find, at least where we are right now, we're not finding that common ground anymore because our chapters are so different.
Right. Yeah. I had something kind of similar in that regard.
Really? What happened?
hmm so there was a season where one of my friends and I just started living very different lifestyles, okay, almost overnight, okay? So just to give you some context, we always went out together, always had a good time. We go out, do all these things. We had a time, okay? But it kind of shifted into going out all the time. And don't get me
Mm,
wrong, I love to be outside, okay? The sun is out, so am I, you know what I mean? But like, we had a good time and it was fun for a while. But after a while, I was kind of like, okay, I don't really want to be out all the time. Okay. My limit on a good day, maybe once a week, if that even. Like, I don't. But she was wanting to go out constantly. I
mm.
mean, it almost felt like I was back in college or even grad school where I was going out Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. Like she was like that. And I'm like, okay, this is not it. It'd be to the point where I'd be at home, like watching TV or whatever, and I'd be getting texts like, "Hey girl, like I see your location, like you're right, like you're close to us, like come out." And I'm like, what? And then it would be other things like, "Oh, like why are you at home? Like what are you doing? You should come out, da da da." And I'm like, okay, like this is not fun anymore. Like this is kind of feeling like I'm getting the pressure put on and I'm getting kind of judged for like not being out as much. And I'm like, we're adults, we can do whatever the hell we want. But it
Yeah.
just felt weird. But
Mm.
I was at a point where I just wanted some balance, right? I wanted to continue to stay in, and my priorities were shifting, and I was doing different things at the time. And she was very much in a season of wanting to be out, partying, meeting people, doing all the things. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But in that moment, I realized we were just in entirely different chapters. Like, I just didn't want to be in that. And like I mentioned, like she wasn't wrong for feeling that way, but I also was not wrong, and I'm valid in the way that I felt too. But I had to step back because that just wasn't what I wanted to do, and it was not sustainable for me anymore.
Yeah, it sounds like what you're saying is like the friendship just had to shift after that, right?
Yeah, because suddenly the things that we were bonding over weren't really part of our lives, and we weren't really connecting in that way that we once were.
Yeah. I think that's the moment where friendships either adapt or they fully start to drift.
Hmm. Something that we don't really talk enough about is friendship breakups.
Yep. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but I feel like the world talks about romantic breakups all the time.
Hmm. But friendship breakups can honestly hurt just as much.
And I think they hurt more.
100% because sometimes you don't even get that closure, truly. Like it just happens, you're like, okay, well, I guess that's it.
Yeah. And you don't always expect them either.
Exactly.
I had a friendship breakup that really changed the way that I look at friendships.
Girl, tell it.
Okay. I've never talked about this one on the podcast. Okay.
Oh,
Um,
wait. Do we need to take a moment before you dive in or what?
let's
I'm
just
here
do
for
it.
you.
Let's
I'm here
rip
for
off the
you.
Band-Aid. Like
Let's
this
do
was
it.
like one of my most shocking friendship breakups.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the last couple of years, I had a friendship breakup with someone that I have known since high school. Like this, I would say this is my longest friend that I have had.
Hmm.
Um, and over time, this person, like, I started getting weird vibes. And like, again, I've known this person for 12 years. So this was weird, right? Like, I started feeling like, when you get those secret hater vibes, we've talked about that on the podcast before, where they're just like, not interacting with your content, not supporting you like
Hmm.
they used to. Like, it was like really weird. And I was like, that's odd. And she became really flaky. Every single time we had plans, she flaked or, she fell asleep or whatever. And like, I think when you know someone for a long time and you know who they are as a person, like the good sides of them, you like kind of make excuses and you're like, oh, well, it's a fluke thing or, oh, but then like you start to like realize the pattern and then you start questioning it. And like, I just never would have expected this of her. And I asked her multiple times, like, hey, like, is something wrong? Like, are you mad at me? Did I do something? Gave her multiple opportunities. Again, for someone that you've known for 12 years, like, I feel like you and if like, if something fell off, I feel like I'd be like, hey, are we good? And you would just be like, no, you pissed me off when this happened, or like, whatever, we could work it out because like we're grown ass women. Nope, she like was like, no, like I'm sorry, blah blah blah, like it's all good, like I'm just gonna do better, whatever. And like in hindsight, probably should have taken a hint that she did not want to be friends with me anymore because I agonized about this and and I dealt with it for like a full year, if not longer, before I finally just started pulling back myself and the friendship died. And I think the reason I was not expecting it is because of the longevity of friendship. And so when I say that I look at friendships differently, I used to think like, oh, those friends who have been in my life forever will always be there. And like that is
Mm.
not the case. People change, you change, like crazy things can happen. And I still to this day do not know how you can go with being friends with someone for 12 years and suddenly just like drop them and suddenly decide you don't want to be friends with them. But that is what happened. And I just stopped interacting with her and she stopped interacting with me until we both ended up deleting each other and never speaking again. And to this day, I still like I don't get it. And I'm like, I try to be like, hey, are you mad? Did I do something? And it was always no. And it's crazy. It's like a crazy, crazy thing that like, and I think the big lesson I took was just because you've been friends with someone for a long time does not mean that they're always going to be your friend.
Right. It is so wild. And I know you've shared the story with me offline and everything, but like you truly didn't see it coming at all, right? Like it was
Not
truly
at
just a shock to you.
all. Not at all. And like again, like I said, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I probably should have taken a hint. She didn't want to be friends with me for a freaking like over a year of dealing with it. But I think that's the hardest part because sometimes friendships don't end with a big fight. They just slowly disappear. And I actually feel like if I would have understood this whole thing more if there had been a big fight, but it never happened. It just didn't. And it was just done. It was crazy.
That is so wild. And then it's like one day you realize, like, it depending on like the situations too, I've seen where there's one that you'll realize you haven't talked in months or years. Like you just fall off the face of the earth. Like one day somebody just stops responding to a text message. And then it's like, oh, I'll give it to them. I'll get to them. And then before you know it, it's been 2, 3 years. And it's like, oh,
Yeah. And it's really sad because those people sometimes have been a huge part of your life.
yeah, 100%. I had kind of a similar situation too. This friendship was a lot shorter, but kind of similar.
Hmm. Tell me.
So it was actually a little bit more abrupt, and this friendship was not this like 12-year friendship. I think we were only really friends for like maybe 6 years. Not even, was it 6? I have no idea.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
I will just say that's the
Um,
point of my story. Like the length doesn't always matter, right? Like it could
it
still be
doesn't. It doesn't
impactful.
matter because because you have a friendship, you really connect with someone, no matter the length, and then these things happen. So
Yeah.
I had a friend that I was close with for a while, and you know her. And we got along great. We spent a lot of time together. And then she moved out of state. So she lived in the same state, but different city. Then she moved out of state. And I even went as far as visiting her when she moved because she needed that support and she wanted to have a really like nice girls' night. And I was like, girl, yeah, I'll fly out there. Like, why not? Turn up. But over time, I started to realize, our lifestyles were completely different. When I met her here, it was like when I first met her here, when I initially interacted with her, it was very like, oh, like I could definitely get along with you, da da da. But like when I went to visit her, I could tell that she was very, and there's nothing wrong with this, but she was very relationship focused, very couple centered. And I was just in a different season. Okay. I'm single, I'm building my life, I'm doing my own thing, like completely different season. But like you could see that in the interactions that we were having during that trip and how she was moving. It was just interesting. But then when she got engaged, I found out about it through social media. And when I asked her about it, she was like, well, I called you, but you didn't call me back. And I said, okay, well, you didn't text me though. Like this is a big life moment. I'm supposed to be one of your best friends. You say that I'm your best friend, but like if you really wanted to share that moment with me, wouldn't you have made sure that you kind of let me know before this all happened? But that moment there was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna raise a little bit of a yellow flag because that is bizarre. That like someone who's claiming to be your best friend, claiming all these things, she doesn't tell you she's engaged, and then you find out about it on social media, and then when you reach out, she's like, well, you didn't text me back, you didn't call me back. Bizarre. Okay. So at that point, we weren't really talking that much after that, and it was just kind of weird. But I was like, like we're still like fine, whatever. But then she announced her bridesmaids, and I wasn't one of them. And honestly, it's fine. I brushed it off because you don't have to be in somebody's wedding. That's not the big deal. But the issue was she was then asking me to contribute a significant amount of money for her bachelorette trip that she wanted to have in Miami, which, if you know anything about Miami nightlife, it is not cheap. And Miami has a specific aesthetic that at the time I probably, and honestly, ever, I don't think I would fit that aesthetic of Miami nightlife. Like it's not for me. And she wanted this big extravagant thing. On top of that, she also wanted me to be part of her bridal shower. Mind you, I'm not part of the wedding party. And again, I have no issue doing this. I just want to put a disclaimer. In general, I do not have an issue with this, but given the situation of this friendship, it didn't make any sense when you're asking me to spend all of this money when you didn't tell me about it and I found out through social media. You didn't put me in your wedding party when you claim I'm one of your best friends, and yet you're demanding money from me. Odd. And so I was like, let's pause here for a second. Like, if I'm not close enough to be included in all of this, like, why am I being asked to show up financially? And so I told her, I was like, hey, like, I cannot make this happen. Like, this is not happening. And that's when things escalated. She said, she started saying things like, I thought we were best friends. Like, as a best friend, you should be showing up for me and doing this and all these things, blah, 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 blah. At that point, I was like, you know what? We need to just get on the phone. We need to talk. Mind you, this is all happening through text messages. Did not pick up the phone once. This is all text. And I was like, hey, we need to just get on the phone and we need to talk this out. Okay. Like, let's just clear the air and just figure this out because something is not lining up. And she never replied to that. And that was the end. The
Wow.
end. Yeah.
I mean, I obviously know the story.
Correct. Yes.
Let me ask you something. Do you feel like that this was really a life stage thing, or do you think this was something deeper?
Mm. Um, I think it was a little bit of both, but definitely like deeper. I think there was something else there that she had to deal with. Because life stage, like I have friends that are married, I have friends that have kids, I all have friends in all different life stages, and it never got to this point. So I honestly think it was something deeper than what it was. And I know the reason, but I do not want to talk about that reason because it honestly is kind of like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I will say that it's deeper, but it's because of vanity and aesthetics, and that's what the reason was. But I won't
Mm.
dive into any more than that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you obviously don't have to go into more detail. I know what you mean, but I think
Hmm.
that that is the reason I'm asking is because I think that that is the big question of can friendships survive when people are in completely different life stages? Because I think in that example, I would guess the way that she would describe that is we were in different life stages. But I think that's a bit of a cop out. And like same with my friendship breakup. I'm I wonder if in her mind, her story is, oh, we were in different life stages. I was, doing other things, whatever. And like,
Yeah.
it comes back to the question because, like you said, you have friends that are kids with kids and married and things like that. Like, can friendships actually survive when people are in completely different life stages?
Yeah. I mean, I think they can. You know what I mean? But I also know that they don't survive automatically. I think you've got to put in the work for that.
Yeah, I actually think that a lot of friendships quietly die because they're thinking it's going to be automatic.
Exactly.
And people then blame it on life stages, but I don't actually think that that's the real reason most of the time.
Mm. And why do you think, like, not even why, but like, what do you think the real reason is?
I think it comes down to time and priorities.
Hmm. Okay. Explain.
I think that people say things like, oh, life just got busy or we grew apart. There's a life stage difference. But like when you really look at it, what they're actually saying is they stopped prioritizing the friendship for whatever reason, whether it's like a valid reason or not, they stopped prioritizing the friendship
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you're exactly right, honestly.
because everybody is busy. Everyone is busy. We are all fucking busy. Life is busy and traumatic and awful and crazy and chaos and everyone.
Yes, and I wish people understood that because I get it. Nobody magically has free time, okay? We have things that fill our time. We wake up, we go to work, we do all these things. Like, we get it. We get it. We know.
Yeah, and exactly. People make time for the things they care about. Their partner, their job, their hobbies, their workouts, their scrolling time.
All the social media time, you know it.
Yeah. And so when someone says they don't have time for a friendship, what they usually mean is it's just not a high enough on their priority list.
Yeah, I mean, that's the harsh truth right there.
It is, but it's also a bit freeing.
Okay. How?
It means friendships aren't doomed just because people are in different life stages.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, we just talked about this earlier. I think it makes sense that these different life stages, we can be friends, and there's a lot of things that happen in that. So I agree with that.
Yeah, if two people want the friendship, they will find ways to stay connected.
Yeah, even if that connection looks different than it used to, they'll make it happen 100%.
Exactly. Maybe you don't see each other every weekend anymore.
Maybe it's dinner once a month. Like literally, I have a friend. We just had dinner, not even dinner. We had brunch last weekend. And before we even left brunch, because I know how busy she is. I mean, she travels all the time. She's, in and out. But we at every meeting that we have, whether it's dinner or brunch, whatever, we set the next date of our meeting because it's intentional time. Because I know that if we don't, I will not see her for not even kidding you, probably 5 or 6 months. Like that's just how it is. And it has nothing to do with like us breaking up or whatever as friends, but it's like that's just the life.
Yeah. And the fact that you guys still make time is like proof, right? Like, even if it's,
Hmm.
the conversations in between seeing each other, sending each other a voice note, whatever.
I do love a good voice note. But also it's, checking in when something big happens.
Yeah. I think the important part is that the effort is still there.
Yeah, I agree. And that's really the big difference.
Yeah. The effort has to be there. It has to be the difference.
Yes. I also think sometimes people expect their friends to stay the exact same person they were when the friendship started.
Yeah. And that is just impossible, especially when you have these long friendships.
Exactly. And it's so funny how people think that because, I mean, hello, people change careers, they move cities, they get married, they start businesses. There's so much life happening.
And they go through hard things, which just changes a person.
Exactly. And if the friendship cannot evolve with those changes, then it most likely will not survive.
Yeah. I do want to say one thing though that people don't really say out loud enough.
Okay. Okay.
If
What is that?
if you go years without seeing someone, calling them, checking in, years, that's not life stages.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an active choice. Like, I get it. Like, we're busy, but like it takes, and we say this all the time, it takes 2 seconds to send a text message, pick up the phone and call, leave a voicemail, voice note. Like, that's a choice.
Exactly, exactly.
It's a harsh reality check, but it's true.
Time is the one thing that you do not get back.
Which makes it really sad when you look back and you realize a friendship slowly disappeared because nobody prioritized it.
Yep. And then one day you're strangers.
I think that's why the friendships that survive adulthood feel so meaningful.
Yeah, because they were intentional.
Those people chose the friendship over and over again,
Even when life gets chaotic,
even when schedules get crazy.
and even when you were in completely different life stages.
hmm So I guess the question isn't whether friendship can survive different life stages.
Maybe the real question is whether both people are willing to make the time.
Exactly, because if they are, the friendship usually survives.
Okay, it's time for everyone's favorite game.
What's the ick? Friendship edition, and we're doing it rapid fire this time. So y'all know the drill. We're just gonna go back and forth. We're just gonna chat through these icks, and yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
We had too many friendship icks that we couldn't narrow it down to one each. So,
Exactly.
okay, my one friendship ick, my first one is a friend who only texts when they need something.
Ugh. I hate that. I hate that. And I've definitely interacted with people who are like that. And I usually just ignore them now.
Hmm.
Because before I would be somebody who would respond, be like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, oh, I need this. Or, oh, can you help me with this? Like, I've had people reach out being like, hey, can you vote for me for this thing? And I'm like, I haven't spoken to you in like 2 years. And you're asking me to vote for some like cover of like a Instagram page. No, I'm not doing that for you.
It's giving
So.
MLM. It's giving
It's
MLM.
giving, hey girly, get out of my DMs with that.
And you know what? I can
Get
talk
out.
shit because I did that in college.
You did.
I did. I've been her.
Oh my gosh.
Don't be that girl.
Okay. Don't be that girl. No, no, no. Oof. Okay, the next ick, a friend who disappears when they get into a relationship. Mm, mm. Immediately no. Because what are you doing? You just lost your identity for a man? I'm just gonna
For a
stick to
man,
this particular one. For a man?
and I'm sorry, but
No.
every time this happens, it's a fucking mediocre man too.
Oh, they look like they fought their way onto Earth. Like it makes me so mad. I'm like, this is it? This is who you're losing friends over?
Mm-mm,
No. It's
Immediate
so
ick.
disappointing. Mm,
Okay, a friend who constantly judges your life choices. Ugh.
no. Mm-mm. No, they can just get on with that because what you're not gonna do is judge me for the choices that I am making. And when I pay for it, when I'm living it, when I'm experiencing it, you're not going to judge that. Like, what do they
Mm.
say? Don't yuck somebody's yum or whatever that is. Like, don't do that,
I
you
had a
know?
friendship breakup over this, over someone who
Hmm.
I felt like every time I talked about the things I would call I nerd out on whatever and I'm excited. Like it was like just judgment. Ugh, I can't believe you like that. Ugh, this. Ugh.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, sorry for fucking living my life. Leave me alone. Stop judging me.
Exactly. It's funny that I'm saying this, and then on social media, I was talking some major shit about these Park sweatshirts, and
Oh, I did see that.
someone was on there was like, let people enjoy things, and if it's not hurting anybody, why do you care? Because it's my fucking page, okay? Get off of it.
And because
Like,
it's capitalism. It's
it's
capitalism and
capitalism.
marketing.
This
So
woman,
that
this
you can
Exactly. This woman is literally getting her stuff from Alibaba, okay? And putting her name on it, saying it's 100% cotton. No, it's not. It's maybe 80/20, and you got some polyester in that shit. It's not 100% cotton. I have sweatshirts from Old Navy that are 100% cotton, that are cheaper, and they're better quality. Be so serious, okay? But I had so many people agreeing with me. Sorry, this is on a tangent because I just have to share because it kind of reminded me of that. That I'm over here judging these girls on their life choices to buy a $150 sweatshirt that looks like somebody stretched out the neck a little bit too much, calling it a mock neck.
yeah.
Listen,
But also
whatever.
there's a difference between a personality trait of hating on people's life choices and calling someone out on a poor decision. And I think what you were doing was calling people out on a poor decision and totally valid.
That's what I thought too. You know what I mean? And like I said, I had tons of people agreeing with me, but I had a couple people being like, it doesn't have to make sense to you and it only has to make sense to me. I'm like, okay, first of all, that's a trending audio, so that's weird. Second of all, like, okay, I'm still right. My opinion is still right. And it's funny because like, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You're allowed to buy whatever you want, like whatever. But like I'm also allowed to criticize it on the
Mm-hmm.
internet. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, as I just said, a friend but I'm not constantly judging your life. Like that was a one and done video. I'm never going to talk about it again. And quite frankly, I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that. Okay. Anyway. All right. So a friend who always says we should hang out soon, but never actually makes plans. Oh
This
God.
is this is the biggest ick of all. Like
This
literally, I refuse to make any plans with people who do this. Like, and I've had a friend now that you say so, I've had a friendship breakup over this before where I called someone out and I said, "What are you talking about?" She had said, "Oh, I can't wait to come visit you when you move to San Francisco." And I said, "Girl, you don't visit me now, and I live an hour from you. What are you talking about? This is fake." And then we had a big fall. I hate that shit. Don't be fake. If you don't have time and I'm not your
no.
priority, just say it.
Just say that 100%. I had a friend like this too. We would, for a while, we were hanging out, and then I would make the plan, and then she would bail out like 24 hours before, being like, oh, I have this, oh, I have that. And I'm like, in my opinion, if you are the person who bails out on the plans, it is your responsibility to make up those plans. If I bailed on a plan, I will immediately follow up saying, hey, I can't make it on Wednesday. What about Friday? What about Saturday or whatever it is? Like it is your responsibility to send follow-up plans. So this friend never did that. And so I'd be like, okay, so I would make them again. Yeah, that's great. And then just never follow through. And I was like, you know what, whatever. But then this friend ended up just like unfollowing me randomly and unmatching me. But I think she had some deeper rooted issues besides the hanging out. But we're not going to get into that on the podcast. But she had some issues of her own that she needed to work through. And I honestly think there was a little bit of jealousy, but
Mm.
because of different life stages. But you know what? Hey, I get it. But no,
All of these icks are a symptom of something deeper. Let's like be real, right?
100%.
Like it's all a symptom of something deeper going on.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, one more.
Okay, a friend who expects you to drop everything for them, but then never shows up for you. Mm-mm.
This one is honestly jail, like immediately jail. Because what do you mean? You want me to drop everything to show up for you? But I'm like, hey, I just need a little help getting by. No, sorry. I can't
Mm.
do that for you.
There
Mm.
was
Okay.
a there was someone in my wedding who fit this criteria who I had.
In your wedding,
Hmm.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. I'll tell you offline names, but this
Okay.
person,
I think I might know.
you know,
Okay.
they lived with me for some period of time. I did a lot. I helped paid for their schooling. Like I did a lot for this person when they needed help. And then when it came to them, Planning
Mm,
my bachelorette party, couldn't do it. Being there on
that's
my wedding
crazy.
day, couldn't do it. Big mistake putting them on my wedding. And that's fine. One day I'm going to pay someone to Photoshop this person out of my wedding photos, but not today.
You can, there's AI for that.
Yeah, that's true. I can do it myself now.
That's true. Oh my goodness. All right, friends. Well, that was so much fun, but it is time for our last drop of tea of the day.
Okay, my last drop of tea is that not every friendship is meant to last forever.
Some friendships are meant for a chapter of your life
But the friendships that survive all the changes in adulthood, those are pretty special.
because those people have seen every version of you
And they stayed.
and they grew with you.
And those are the friendships worth protecting.
If this episode made you think about your own friendships,
Send it to the friend who has been there through every version of you.
and if you want more honest conversations like this one,
Make sure you're subscribed to the Sisterhood Tea Party wherever you listen to podcasts.
and we'll see you at the next tea party. Bye, friends.
Bye.